Good evening, everybody. I'm Jeff Infusino. I'm the president of Camp One Step. And I'd like to welcome you here tonight at the Ritz, and we're very excited to have you here. Tonight, as everybody said, this is about the kids and what we can do to help send more kids to camp. But before I talk a little bit about what we've been doing, I want to thank some people that are here tonight. First of all, our MC, Ryan Sartori. Let's give him another hand. Seeing Ryan grow up at camp has been fantastic, but just to see him grow into the adult he is right now and to live his dream in radio and doing sports and lovely Nikki next to him, it's a wonderful thing, and we're just so very, very proud of him. As Carrie mentioned, the gala committee, Carrie, you have done an amazing job of being a chair of that group. And not only is she the chair of the group, but she's an alumni of Camp One Step. Carrie's a survivor herself, and we're so very proud of her. But to talk about Carrie, there's two people in this room that I have to acknowledge, and a very special thank you is Carrie's mom and dad, Joyce and Bill Murphy. Please stand up. And when you talk about Carrie, you need to talk about her husband, John. John is our board chair, a great leader, and an incredible partner to be doing what we do. And what I like to do at this time is have everybody that's a board member that's in this room, please stand up. But according to John Flieger, don't have John Lehman arrange transportation for you, because it could be a little bit of a problem. You know, when we talk about how we do things and how we get things done at Camp One Step, we talked about our board. I have such an incredible staff that works tirelessly to do more and more things for our community. And I want to thank them and have them all stand up. Paige Galassini, Jill Kolbach, Devin Ryan, Colleen McGrath, Hannah Smith, Marilyn Brown, Tara Bond. The three of our staff members aren't here tonight because they're attending an oncology conference tonight, accepting a gold ribbon certification award for the organization. That's Susie Burke, Mark Lowry, and Jessica Hopper. When it comes to sending our kids to camp and having our families come to camp, it's a very important group that helps us do that. Susie Burke, who's our medical director, but there's one special person in the room that I got to meet when I first joined the board, and now she's leading our medical advisory committee, and that's Jen Rychek. Jen, please stand up. When I joined the board, there was two Jens that are on the board. Thankfully, one spelled her name with two N's, and the other with one N, so we got that covered. Oh, I didn't want to say the tall and short thing. Yeah, we got that. So the other thing we do is, as an organization, is we look to people to advise us and support us and give us some opportunity to figure out how we can be better strategically. And we have an advisory council that does that for us. So anybody that's on the advisory council that's here, please stand up. Let's give them a hand. Paige does a great job leading our Young Professionals Council, and we're very, very proud of this group. And Matt Lawton, who is leading that for us. So please, YPC, anybody here from the YPC, please stand up. And Matt Lawton, please stand up. When it comes to running our programs and doing the things we need to do to keep kids to remember that their lives are not defined by cancer, it's our incredible volunteers that work tirelessly on every program. So every volunteer that's in this room, please stand up and take a bow. When you look at everyday life, and it gets tough for a family, and it gets tough for a camper, as Ryan did a great job of talking about how our campers have to mature pretty quickly because they have to be experts on what they're going through because what they deal with. The heroes in this room and the heroes we support every day are our campers and their families, and we have a number of them in the room tonight, so I'd like to have them stand up and take a bow. And while she's standing, if she could stay standing, I want to thank Jamie Page for all the work that she's doing with us. She's helping us redesign our website. She's doing some things for us. So as a parent, giving that voice and giving that opportunity for us to know what we're doing, Jamie, thank you very much. I'd like to thank everybody at the Ritz for doing such a tremendous job to support us tonight. Let's thank them. And of course, today we have to say one more thank you. That's since it's Veterans Day, to any veteran that's in the room, to say thank you for serving our country. 2023 was a year that saw us do a lot of things that were pretty special. And when you look at doing things that are special, it's about doing things to get kids back to camp. And because of the hard work of our staff, the hard work of our medical advisory committee, our volunteers, we had a full slate of programs this year. And we're able to do things the way we felt that we needed to do it. In addition to that, we had more things for our siblings to be able to go to because siblings are very important in the family unit. We did some localized programs to be able to get more kids to camp and more families together. Because one thing we heard all the time is that when their child is diagnosed with cancer, it breaks apart the family. And the most important thing we have to do is not even by having kids go to camp or families go to camp, is make sure that families outside of camp are whole. And that's what we've been doing this year. So with that, I'm pleased to report that we had 117 new to COS campers come this year, brand new to the organization. We also are going to serve over 1,700 campers this year, the most we've ever served in the history of the organization. So when you look at things and you talk about what camp's all about, and Ryan did a great job, and we're going to have Lake and Luis tell you about it because that's really where you want to hear it from. But a couple of things I can tell you is that we had a camper that went to camp, and she's a veteran. She's somebody that's gone to camp a number of times. And when she went this year, she was walking in, and one of the counselors said, I just want to let you know there's some people crying when they leave. And she goes, what do you mean, crying when you leave? I've been here, I'm not going to cry. So Mom picked her up, and sure enough, she told her that she cried. And the reason she cried is because she felt that camp fulfilled her like no time before. She felt that this was something that really gave her that time with her friends that she hasn't seen in a while. It's about being that you have all this opportunity to be fulfilled at camp, no matter what it is. And that was so special for her. Carrie earlier talked about time to shine, and we talked about why the camp is gold gala. Yes, the ribbon's up there because it's gold and because that's the color, of childhood cancer. But most importantly, what it stands for, the time to shine, because every camper is different. What they experience at camp is different. The most important thing is for them to be able to feel different in a good way, because cancer makes them feel different in the wrong way. And so we've had families tell us that their child has come home and had so much more confidence. We had a first-time camper at summer camp, Brian's talking about the banquet, that had his opportunity that he didn't like speaking in front of people. Well, he did that. He did that in front of a group of his peers for the first time. And Mom said he wants to speak more. And that's what camp does, is give that confidence and an opportunity. I think one of the common threads that you're going to hear is that it's about being around people that understand you. Because too many times when you're diagnosed with cancer, and too many times when you're going and trying to work through this and navigate what no one understands, plug to Colleen's podcast, but when no one understands it, it's really, you're trying to navigate this very difficult journey that you don't know. But when you're around somebody that does know it, and somebody that's been there, and somebody can guide you, and somebody can give you advice, and somebody can give you information, that's what camp is. And that's what that time to shine is, because people can shine at camp because they feel welcome, they feel whole, and they feel they can do anything they want to do. 3 words I'm going to give you before I close. The first one is family. We talk about family all the time. We talk about our camp family. It's so important because you all have your own families, and that's why you're here. But you're here because you're part of our camp family, and that family is resilient. That family is there to support each other. That family is to help you get through what you need to do to be a kid of cancer, and a kid that can be different in a good way. The kid that can say, I can. Families are there to support. That's what we do, and that's what you're all here for. So give yourself a hand for that. Thank you. We all say that we do this together, and we do it together for a reason. Because as no one journey can be the same, we need to stand together to be there for each other, to comfort each other, to make sure that you know that you can, and to fill your heart and soul with love from camp. And that's what we're here to do today. We're here to come together and make kids feel that they can do anything they want, that they can be at camp. Families can know that their child's going to go to camp and come home feeling different. And I said different in a good way because they're coming home happy, they're coming home strong, and they're coming home saying, I can. And that's what we want you to do tonight. And the last word I'm going to leave you with is gratitude. Because from the bottom of my heart, I am grateful to every single one of you for what you're able to do for us and what you've done for us in the past, and for being here tonight. Because being here tonight, you make a difference in everything we do, and I am incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. So thank you very much. Now we have a special award that we're going to give out, and I'm going to ask Marjorie Schwebel to meet me halfway here, and I'll walk her up the stairs. But the Richard Schwebel Family Award is going to a special group of individuals that have supported us for a number of years. I'm going to let Marjorie talk about it a little bit. But the folks from Scoreboard Charities are not only incredibly great people, but their desire every day is to make the life of a child with cancer better. So, Marjorie.
Good evening. It's great to see so many people here tonight. Wow. Camp One Step holds a very special place in our hearts. We became involved when our son Jeffrey, 11 years old, was diagnosed with 4th stage Hodgkin's. He was our family clown, the middle of 5 children, was fun-loving, always keeping us in stitches. His oncologist told us there was 5 to 10% chance of survival. Perhaps some of you parents here this evening know that painful message. Chemo and radiation began 1978 to 1980. He fought with great courage and was determined to win his battle. In 1979, Jeff's oncologist suggested that he might enjoy going to Camp One Step. He told me the camp was staffed with medical professionals, which I was very comfortable with. His large blue eyes lit up as he had sailed on Lake Geneva with friends of ours before he was diagnosed. And when the oncologist suggested he might go, he said, well, what do you do there? Well, you can go swimming, you can go sailing, and there's lots of girls. So, of course, Jeff's 3 favorite things were sailing, swimming, and girls, and not necessarily in that order. So he always was like a magnet. There was always a circle of girls all around him. At camp, there was a very common denominator. All the kids understood one another. There was no one making fun of somebody. And these kids were facing heavy issues, life, death, saw other kids that didn't make it. This camp was a home, as Jeff and everybody has said, for children with cancer because they were always different at the schools. So this camp was staffed with the medical professionals giving of their time and all the volunteers that came to camp, which really helped us parents understand that if something happened, there was going to be the medical people that understood what they were going through. So he went into remission after his treatments, returned to Camp One Step as a counselor in 1988. He wanted to inspire other kids and give witness to his miracle. Jeffrey had never met a stranger. He had an infectious laugh. He had deep empathy for others, always caring. He lived life to the fullest. We are very grateful that we had 23 bonus years before he had a massive cerebral hemorrhage at the age of 35 on Thanksgiving Day of 2001. When this tragedy happened in our family, our other children were hurting. They were grieving. They needed a focus. So they established the Jeffrey A. Schwebel Memorial Foundation to honor and remember their brother with an annual golfing event. All the proceeds were given and presented to Camp One Step. My son, Scott and his wife Allie currently chair the foundation, and I'm extremely proud of my children for 20 years with creative, charitable accomplishments to support this wonderful camp. My deceased husband, Richard, served on the board here for several years before his death in July of 2014. After his death, the board established the Richard A. Schwebel Family Award. I am honored this evening to give the Richard A. Schwebel Family Award to Scoreboard Charities. Scoreboard Charities have donated over $300,000 since 2016. I thank Rick and Diana Hines for all that they and their committees do to support these kids at Camp One Step. It's an awesome camp, and if you have the opportunity to ever go visit, you would be amazed at the fun. It's joyful noise, and it's like no other. It's like these kids are in heaven. So I'm grateful for people like Rick and Diana Hines at Scoreboard Charities.
On behalf of my wife Diana, on behalf of my family, my sister Ellen is here from Tampa, on behalf of our very, very, very small committee that's done really great things, I'd like to introduce them tonight. Please stand. Beth O'Malley, Annie Geezier, Debbie Henderson, Emily Majori and her fiance Ryan O'Malley, Jason and Kelly Heiser, and Diana Hines. Scoreboard Charities has, in 7 years, has raised and donated $1.7 million for cancer research and Camp One Step. Thank you. We've done that through our bourbon event. It's called Meet Me in Manhattan, an old-fashioned way to beat cancer. We've done that through our wine event, which was last night, Uncorked, Pull a Cork for Cancer. We now have a new pop-up store in downtown Clarendon Hills. Come to Clarendon Hills, buy some stuff for Christmas. And we have an eBay store under Heinz Tax, Scoreboard Charities. Our goal for the next year is to get to $2 million, and we will have done that, accomplished that in 3 years. But before Diana and I were involved with Scoreboard Charities, it's always been about camping and cancer. We were involved with the Girl Scouts of DuPage County. It's always interesting that when I go and buy cookies, that I can walk up to the moms and the little girls and say, well, I was a Girl Scout too once. As you can imagine, I get an interesting reaction. Both Diana and I were treasurer. We both did the Avon, it was called Avon at that point in time, the 60-mile walk. And I got involved with a group called Chicago Baseball Cancer Charities, and that's how I met Camp One Step. Just really, really, really awesome. And then we kept it up. We decided to do some different things rather than a golf event, and we went on from there. We've been fortunate, our committee, Diana and I have been fortunate to go to camp a number of times. I know that everyone can't go, but it's truly awesome. Hold that for a second. When you get introduced to camp and you have 200 kids giving you a heart message, it's really something. And then you hear a few stories about a young boy who's unfortunately lost through cancer, lost an arm and a leg, and he wants to pass the swim test. He can't swim in the lake any other way. And suddenly the whole camp is joining him down at the lake, cheering him on. That's really awesome. Tonight, I'd like to give a check for $70,000.
Taking that. Just take the ball right. Thank you. That was one Jeff Fisher. What's that?
Yeah.
Again?
And again, that's our annual check. Our committee, everyone at our table, we all will be wanting one of these tonight. So keep bidding on the silent auction. The live auction's cool. I know Dan or someone has been giving these away shortly. You got it. Thank you. Thank you so much, and we really appreciate it. We humbly accept the award. Thank you all.